Hello, my name is Timothy Fields, Senior Associate Dean here in the Office of Undergraduate Admission. I'm very excited to share with you today some great information about application plans and platforms. As you begin this college search process, I know there are lots of questions, and two of the most important is when do I apply and how do I apply? In today's presentation, we're going to try and give you a good understanding of several of the application platforms that are out there. And then, when the times you apply and what exactly does it mean when you apply by those various deadlines. So we think about deadlines, there's rolling, regular decision, early action single choice, and several others. We are going to kind of, break down what are the differences between the two and when may be the appropriate time for you to apply and what does that mean. We're also going to cover various application platforms. So how do you go about applying to the school? If you want to apply to multiple schools, can you do that using one application? And very specific, schools and state systems that require one application and understanding which ones to use. So we'll begin by talking about application plans. We'll begin with regular decision because that's when most students apply. This year, Emory received over 30,000 applications, and 27,000 of those applications applied regular decision. This is true for many schools. And so while we're going to talk about early decision, early action, and these various application plans, just know most students apply during the regular decision process. Now, what does it mean to apply regular decision? It means you have all the opportunities available. You can apply to up to 25 different schools if you like. And if admitted to all 25 schools, you can choose, you can shop, you can weigh the pros and cons of all those different types of schools. Now, let me be clear. I don't advise applying to 25 different schools, but just know if you wanted to through regular decision, you could. Now, that's not true for early decision. Early decision is a binding agreement, meaning if you apply to that school, you're admitted to that school, you have to withdraw all other applications from other schools and enroll in the early decision school that you were admitted. Binding is the most important factor in that. Most times when students start thinking about their early decision school, it's their number one choice. It's that dream school. It's that school that you say, if I am admitted to this school, there's no other school that is close. So just know if you begin to look at some schools for early decision, just know there's a binding agreement in knowing that your parent, your counselor, and also you will sign an agreement saying that you understanding of the binding nature of that plan. Now, this is different than early action. So we're talking ED, early decision, which is binding, and EA, early action, which is simply you're just applying early. There's no binding nature to it. You're simply saying, you know what, I really, really like this school. I want to apply early. And then you'll also receive an earlier notification. Unlike many of the notifications that will come out in April, you'll find out as early as January or December of your decision. And then you can sit and have that in your back pocket knowing you were admitted to that school, but you can still apply to schools through regular decision and have those options available to you. Whenever you apply regular decision or early action, all the options are on the table. If you apply early decision, all the options are not on the table because of the binding nature. And I just want to make sure we're clear on that. And then there's a limited amount of schools in the country that have restrictive or single choice early action. Now, this is not binding. You are not bound to these schools, but these schools are going to say, hey, if you apply to us early, we want to limit the amount of schools that other schools you can apply early. So whereas regular decision, there's no limits on what you can do. In restrictive, single choice, early action, there are going to be some restrictions. Now, it's very important you contact these schools individually to find out, what are the criteria surrounding the, restrictions that they have as far as the early action plans. So, for those schools who are restrictive or single choice early action, I would recommend you contact them directly, go to their website and read the fine print as far as what exactly that entails. So you understanding what it means when you apply and what limitations that you have as far as that. And then finally, we have rolling admission. Rolling admission is simply there are not limited times, whereas the previous application plans, they are really restricted to probably, November to January. Rolling admission can happen throughout the academic year. meaning that, you know, you can apply in the summer, you can apply in the fall, you can apply in the spring. There are going to be various times throughout the academic year in which you can apply to those schools. So when you're looking at building your list of schools, you want to know, what are the application deadlines? When am I going to be notified of my decision? And, you know, are there other deadlines beyond the just one that is going to be available to them? So there's going to be rolling, there's going to be, you know, regular, there's going to be early decision, early action. It's very, very important, you know, that, you know, as you are thinking about schools, that what is the application timeline? I recommend you build an Excel spreadsheet, and then you write the deadlines that you can apply to that school, so that as you begin building out this list, you know what deadlines you need to meet. Now, how do you go about applying? There are several different applications throughout the country. These are 3 that you can apply to many different schools using one platform. So there's the common application, the universal application, and the coalition application. All application platforms, you can apply to hundreds of schools using it. For example, here at Emory, if you wanted to use the common application, you could use the common application to apply to Emory. You could apply to WashU. You could apply to Tulane. You could apply to several other schools that are on the common application. The same is true for coalition and the universal. And also, schools also accept several different applications. So Emory, you can apply through the common application, or you can use the coalition application. We have no preference. It's whichever one that you choose. But with all these platforms, you can put your name and the rest of your demographic information. You can upload your essays. And then if you want to submit that to 25 different schools on that platform, your application will go to all of those schools. So this is a very good tool to use to apply to multiple places. Now, there are additional applications that, you know, are very, let's say, limited in what they do because they have very specific audiences. So I'll begin with the QuestBridge application. The QuestBridge application is really geared towards first generation and low and middle income students. QuestBridge is its own program. So you have to, you know, apply to the QuestBridge program. And once you are in the QuestBridge program, then they have an application portal that you can apply to over 40 of the most selective college universities in the country. And the goal of the QuestBridge program is to stop the idea of undermatching, which is the idea of, hey, I'm a smart kid, but I just want to go to my local college. We want students that they want to go to Stanford, Princeton, Emory, Vanderbilt, Rice, and many of the top colleges in the country. If they want to go there, QuestBridge wants to allow them that opportunity. But you have to begin that process at the beginning of your senior year. You have to go to the QuestBridge website. And once you are in the QuestBridge program, they have an application that they can send out to several colleges and universities. And then some of the larger states who have big systems had their own application. So if you wanted to apply to one of the Texas state system schools, or the University of California system schools, they had their own specific application. So what do all these platforms mean? It means if you wanted to apply to UCLA, you would have to use that application. If you wanted to apply to Emory, you would have to use the coalition, QuestBridge, or the common application. And then if you wanted to apply to University of Florida, they only accept the coalition application. So depending upon what school that you are applying to, it's important to know what application platform they use. It's also, as we go back to this Excel spreadsheet, to write, you know, what application they will accept. So you're not having to complete several different applications. Now, if you want to go to several different schools and they have different application platforms, that's something that you would do. But if as much as we can streamline this process, limit application fees, limit the various applications we have to complete, that's what we would like to do. So it's very important to know the various application platforms that, you know, you are going to use. Now, that's it as far as application platforms, but I'm sure there are several other questions you may have. As you have additional questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to the Office of Undergraduate Admission. You can email us at admission@emory.edu at any time, and we will be happy to answer any questions you have. We wish you all the best in this process, and thank you for spending some time with us.